Hello and welcome to Good Clean Gaming. I'm your host Shilindo, and today we're going over the map options for Galactic Civilizations 3. There is currently, as of the posting of this video, if you're looking at this in February 28th, 2015, the weekend of, there is currently a sale on Steam that this game is 50% off, so feel free to go pick that up if that's something you're interested in, or keep watching these videos and see if it entices you. So here's all the map settings, and not all the map settings are in this yet. Obviously this is still beta, phase 4, as you can see at the top, but you can choose all these different things on the left, and there will probably be more, but there will be a lot more by the time release is go, I assume. But if you look at these, it gives you a lot of flexibility. For instance, galaxy size goes from tiny all the way to insane. Now, if this is anything like Galactic Civilizations 2, tiny was like each race. If you had like 8 races in the same map, each race would have maybe one planet, and that was all the planets. There were no planets to expand to. There may be one in the whole galaxy to expand. Whereas insane means that every single race in the game might have like 30 planets. It's not in the game yet, it's still grayed out, but it can get really huge. I remember some marathon sessions I had where I played on insane mode and had as many opponents as possible, and it took a long time, but it was awesome. It was just so awesome. You can choose random. You can randomize. Pretty much all the settings can be randomized, I believe, except for galaxy. Oh no, galaxy size can be randomized as well. It's just grayed out. So your choices here are spiral, which is kind of like the Milky Way galaxy. You'll have these long arms of lines of stars, and there'll be like several of them. That's the spiral shape. Then we're going to go from tight clusters to scattered. Tight clusters is where you have like 3 stars here, and then you go away for a little while, and then 4 stars over here, and they're all close together. And then you go a little further away, and then there's 3 stars close together. Those are tight clusters. And then you have loose clusters where those are spread out a little further, but they're still closer to each other than the other clumps. Think of clusters as just clumps of stars in these places. And then scattered is just where pretty much all the stars are kind of equidistant from each other, is kind of the way I think of it. It looks like they have load map and clear on here. I assume load map allows you to have custom maps. Then you have a randomize button that I assume randomizes everything. And then galaxy options. This gives you a lot of, you can alter basically how the galaxy is generated. Star frequency, planet frequency, how many habitable planets there are, or extreme planets. This can have a huge impact on the game. I mean, just think playing on insane mode and then setting habitable planets to abundant and star frequency to abundant. Or if you want all the stars really spread out, I mean, if you set this to rare and rare, then it's actually possible, I think, if you can be on the biggest map and still every race can only have like 1 or 2 planets because there's nothing else habitable in the whole place. That can make for a really long game. Down here we also have resources, asteroids, black holes, precursors, ascension crystals, resources, and nebula can all be set to, it ranges from none to abundant on here, and in some cases it ranges from rare to abundant. And then anomalies are at the end. Anomaly, frequency, and then interstellar rifts coming soon. I don't know what these are going to be. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, these would be kind of like wormholes where you could travel from one side of the galaxy to the other in a single move. And that can have a big impact on the game, especially if you can claim them. I know in some games you can actually claim wormholes, and then only you can use them, and then it's basically like a backdoor into your enemy's base. I think I combined wormhole and backdoor. Victory conditions is next. There are several victory conditions. Conquest is where you just, beat up everybody else. Destroy them. Influence is where you focus on the influence, which is the circle around your star or your different planets and star bases. And that grows with the more influence you have. And it can actually grow so big that you are the most influential race in the entire game, and you get 60% of the galaxy under your influence, and all of a sudden you win. That's a cool way to play. I've actually enjoyed playing that way. Research is where you unlock the ultimate technological breakthrough. Basically, at the end of all the research trees, or at least at the end of one of the research trees, I haven't looked at it, there will be a technology that if you research it, you win the game. And so for researching factions, you'll be going, or researching races, you'll be going to this research path as kind of the easy route to victory, if there is an easy route to victory. Ascension is reclaiming ascension crystals. So scattered around the map, there are these ascension crystals, and if you claim them, if you I think build something similar to a star base on them, and say these are mine. If you get enough of them, you can actually, it says, ascend to a higher plane. You win the game through ascension. It's basically, yeah, capture the area, and there's several areas to capture. Alliance, so you can actually ally with everyone else and get on good terms with everybody else, and then anybody who doesn't stay on good terms with you, you can destroy. And then if everyone left is allied to you, I think you win. It may have something to do with the United Council, where you do the little vote and you vote for who's going to be the leader of the thing, the leader of the big alliance, and whoever gets the votes for the leader of the big alliance wins. I haven't actually tried that out, so I haven't tried out several of these. I've only done conquest so far. And then turn limit, where basically if you want a certain number of turns, like I only want this game to go for 100 turns, and then whoever's in the lead wins. You can do turn limit. So lots of different ways to win, and you can enable and disable all these. So if you don't like research as a victory, you can turn it off like that. Or you can say, hey, I want research to be the only way we can win. I want all those other victories to be meaningless. I want research to be the way that we go for. The AI, from what I understand, is going to be pretty good. It's not totally settled yet. Obviously, this is still beta, like I said. But I assume that once they get through the AI, it's possible that they will actually target certain victory conditions. I would say it's likely that they'll target whatever victory condition that they're most likely to get to, and play strategically, which is pretty cool. You have game difficulty, game pacing. So the game difficulty, you can set the difficulty of the opponents, of the individual opponents. You can actually set those. I played my series against the hardest difficulty level, which shows that the difficulty levels aren't sorted out yet, because I would never be able to do that at release. But you can set the galaxy difficulty, basically make the galaxy harder for your race to live in. You can make the game pace faster, make basically the turns, it take less turns to research things and less turns to build things, or more turns. You can go really slow if you want. Same for research rate. You can actually specifically go research slow if you want to. I find that to be really interesting, because it forces you, if you go slow research, it forces you to be very strategic with what you decide to research, because you're going to be stuck with it for a while. Pirates coming soon. Pirates in a lot of games like this typically are, steal your resources. Pirate fleet comes in and blows something up, that kind of thing, and maybe a pirate base. I don't know. Sins of a Solar Empire had pirate bases where you could clear them out, but they always had a lot of defenses. United Planets frequency. So this is the little kind of United Nations thing in Galactic Civilizations 3, where you basically force your will onto other races by voting on things. And if you vote for something that wins, then it gets forced on everybody. And if you're strategic about it, you can, if you're right on the border with the Drengen, for instance, and you're worried about them attacking you, and you manage to create a treaty that says that any war declaration has to pay some huge fine and penalty, then all of a sudden, you've handicapped your primary opponent on your border. You might be able to, take them over with influence or do other things like that. Galactic events. This is kind of like random thing, like, all of a sudden growth rates are double, or all of a sudden economic rates are halved, and things like that. They always have really interesting flavor text, so I make them sound boring, but they're actually really cool to read, and it does change the game a lot when randomly all of a sudden the thing that you're focusing on is worthless for 20 turns. And then advanced settings, blind exploration. So right now on the map you see little points where all the stars are, and you can go towards those points and you'll know there might be planets there. With blind exploration, you won't know where the stars are, so you have to explore more meticulously, I guess. Galaxy-wide mega events will not occur. You can disable the mega events. You can disable super abilities. So, for instance, I'm not sure how this would work because there's a whole race where the only way they can create population is by using the ability, although the ability itself turns off food production. So I assume if you disabled the yours special ability, all of a sudden they make food and they reproduce as normal, which is well designed, honestly. Disable tech brokering. So that prevents players from or races from trading technology between each other. A lot of games like this, I usually do. I sometimes do, if there's a lot of opponents, a strategy where I get a piece of technology and I trade it to all the other races individually for something I want, and then I've given away one technology to everyone, but they've given me like 7 technologies. So everyone else has one more technology and I have 7 more. You know, I usually try doing stuff like that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Depends on the AI and how smart they are about trading. So that's actually third-party technologies, and that's separate from tech trading. So there's a difference there. I haven't got into that, but I'm guessing it's maybe if somebody gives you technology, are you going to be allowed to give it to someone else? I'm guessing that's the way that would work. So basically that strategy I was just talking about. And then disable surrender. So you can actually, your enemies can surrender to you, but you can disable that, and then all of a sudden they can't. That's just mean. Oh, okay. Opponents. So you have the player settings. It doesn't have any settings right now, but you can set the team. So you can have, free for all where everybody's kind of fighting for themselves. Or you can do this thing where like you have teammates. You can have like the Yor. Currently, I have the Yor selected. The Yor on the same team as the Dringen, and then the Altarians and the Terran on the same team, and then the Iridians and the Kryn on the same team. You have 3 teams of 6 races total, and that can be kind of fun. And then you can it looks like create opponents down here. I'm guessing you can use your created races to add more to this list and have as many races or as you want, or as many races as the game allows you to have. So if I wanted to, I could add all these, or I could remove all these. And I don't think I can actually start with no opponent, can I? Let's find out. No opponent selected. Okay, so that's the Galaxy settings. That's the settings that basically determine everything that's going to be designed in the game before you even get into the game. So you can really customize your experience with the game and how it turns out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I hope this has been informative. Be sure to check out that Steam sale if this game's something you're interested in. I'll be putting out more videos like this over the weekend, hopefully, as I have time. I'm really behind on recording, guys. I got to get caught up. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and remember, keep it clean.